Eva. She's the person in the middle right here, if you don't know what she looks like. That is me, and my sister is on the other side. This picture was taken at the premiere for Eva's documentary, Eva A-7063. Now, can you pass this one? Yeah. Okay. Now, I got to go to this premiere. It was only a selected few, but I got to go to this premiere because my sister's in part of it. Now, she's only in the uncut version, but because whenever they had to cut it to make it shorter because it was too long to air, they cut out her part. But that's fine because I have that copy, which is the original. This copy, there are only 5 in the world. Yeah.
And she has a copy.
Yes. And so it's actually kind of a funny story how my sister got into being into it and how she got into it. So whenever my sister was in high school, she heard about Eva through somewhere, somehow. Back then they weren't really teaching about her very much, but now we are, which is great. But so she heard about her, and at the time she was saving up for a car, right? So, as a high school, you want a car. Well, my sister was like, I want to go to this annual trip that Handles does, Eva's museum. They do a trip to Auschwitz, like twice a year, and it's for about a week long. She was like, this is going to cost a lot of money. Instead of a car, I think I want this instead. So she saved up to go on this trip. And it's a very emotional trip. You're going to see Auschwitz, a place where tons of people died. Very sad. So she was kind of wallowing in sadness during lunch. And Eva's son comes up to her. Alex is his name, and he's like, I want you to go talk to Eva. I want you to talk to her. And so she goes up, my sister goes up to Eva, and Eva goes, wallowing in sadness is not going to do anything. Like, just because you cry about something, well, that's not going to help anything. So she was like, I want you to give a speech at the end of this trip. The last dinner, there are 80-some people. She just wants her to give a speech. She didn't tell her about what. She didn't set any guideline. She was just here. And she gave that speech. And, well, that speech turned into working at the museum, Eva's museum. And working at the museum, well, that got her into the documentary, sharing her story. And sharing her story got me into meeting Eva this night, behind stage, where we weren't allowed to be.
And that's the premiere of her movie, right?
Yes, that is the premiere of her movie. We got this pin there. It says #Team Eva on it.
Wow.
Team Eva is like a small group that Micah, the person who filmed it, Ted, the person who directed it, a bunch of other people, and I got this pin because I was allowed to go to the premiere.
Wow.
It was a very special, big thing. There were so many huge names there.
That's a huge deal. Yeah, very big deal.
Right. And so Eva doesn't remember much of that night. So
You want to go that way?
mhm.
Up?
Yeah,
Or down?
Down.
There we go.
So a couple months later, this picture was taken. This was the first time of me going to the museum. This is the one that Eva really remembered because, well, the premiere was a big thing. She walked out on a blue carpet. There were a bunch of press there. Can you imagine how hard that would be to remember every person you talked to?
Yeah.
So this is where I first really got to meet Eva, and well, we're laughing in that picture because we realized that we're the same height.
4'9". Even the 4'9".
Yeah.
Look how little she is.
She is very small, but she imparts so much joy onto everyone in the room. She was just wonderful to be around.
Tell us why she wears blue.
Oh, right, okay. So she wears blue because, well, it's her favorite color, right? And well, she met like a nuns that wore blue in her time. So whenever they got out of the Auschwitz, she met some nuns that wore blue, and the person who was taking care of her, a close friend of their mom, was making dresses, and Eva was like, "Hey, can you like put some blue on this? I want some color. I don't want mine to be bland because that's what everybody else looks like, bland and tan. I want mine to be blue." And so she didn't stop wearing blue after that. I've never seen her not wear blue, ever. Like in all pictures, I've met her 3 times. Blue. Her book is blue.
Yep.
Everything.
Everything's blue.
So, can you go to the first?
Yep,
image?
sure.
So,
Right
this picture was taken during the trip that my sister went on, or my sister took another trip to Auschwitz with her. Because like you can't just experience everything in one trip. And so on the second one, I gave my sister this little toy that Eva's holding. And I gave it to her to always remind her that she can come home.
That's nice.
And she's holding it there, which is very meaningful to me because that is something that I gave my sister, and Eva, this amazing person, is holding it.
Look at that. Isn't that cool? Like she gave that to her sister, and then her sister gave it to Eva to hold, and there's a picture of Eva holding that you had to give to her. That's so cool. That's the coolest thing ever. Like, look at that. She's holding the toy that Bailey gave to her sister.
Yeah, if you guys don't see how memorable this is, not very many people got to meet her.
Yeah, no.
Not many people got to know her.
No.
And I'm so lucky.
Yes.
I consider myself one of the luckiest people alive.
You are, yeah. So lucky. That's why I'm having you speak, because like I didn't even get to meet her.
Right, no. Yeah, I was telling Mr. Hukin, because I had him last year, and he went out of his way to teach about Eva. And I was telling him, you need to go to the museum this summer.
Yep.
He didn't end up going to the museum this summer before Eva died.
Yeah, I know.
So I was
I'm sad that I missed her as well.
yeah. But that's why I would like to share my experience.
Right.
Where's the museum at?
Terre Haute.
Yeah.
It's about like about 2 hours away
Oh
from here.
yeah. Very
It's like south west. My parents grew up there and went to school there. And my nephews go to school there. There's a nice university there, so not too far. She lived there for 30 years.
That was the very first place. Like Eva lived in Israel for a little bit, and that's where she met Mickey, her husband. And well, Mickey was from Terre Haute, so they went to visit, and Eva was like, "Why don't we just come live here?"
I don't know why, but yeah. Terre Haute's not,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a small Indianapolis.
Yes, a very small Indianapolis. Sure, you could say that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, she was born in Romania, though.
Yeah, Transylvania, Romania.
Yep, Transylvania. Ever heard of Transylvania?
It's about whenever she lived there was about 1,000 people there.
It's a real place, believe it or not. Yep, I couldn't believe it, but yeah. Okay, do you want me to go to
The last image.
There you go. There's
Yes.
the last one.
Okay. So this picture is the very last time that I saw Eva in person. I got her book, Surviving the Evil of Death, the story of Mengele twins in Auschwitz. I got it signed on 1/26/2019.
And that was that day, yeah.
Yes, that was that day, yes. That was the day that she was doing one of her, I had never seen her actually do her speech before. And my sister was like, yeah, we have to go down there, we have to do the speech. What I was not expecting was to read a piece of paper during a candle lighting ceremony. In Jewish culture, lighting a candle for someone or something is a huge deal. And I was given the opportunity to read off for the children who didn't have parents and the children who died in the Holocaust. I read that off while one of the staff members lit a candle before Eva gave her speech. Eva did one as well for the Mangala twins, for the ones who died and the ones who did live as well. And it was just a small slip of paper, like a paragraph long, and I just read it. Well, that was a huge deal to me. And we got a picture at the end, all of us. I don't think that my sister got a hold of that one, but that was a great day.
Wow.
Someone had given Eva a bouquet of flowers. A girl, I can't remember exactly, but she took pictures with Eva and gave her the bouquet of flowers. It was so sweet.
You want me to show one of the videos?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to show this one right here. This is, you want to talk about this one? This one has your sister in it at the end, right?
Yeah, okay. So I do believe that the picture that it shows of my sister is her giving the speech during the first trip that she took.
Okay, so that's just a little clip of her giving her speech. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just a real small, short clip.
When Eva first began advocating forgiveness, it was strictly about the Nazis and the Holocaust. When she began seeing the freeing effects of forgiveness on others who didn't go through the Holocaust, she widened the message to include victims of all sorts of crimes and discrimination. From mass genocides to spousal abuse, neglect, bullying, any situation in which someone was unfairly wronged by another. To all who suffered this way, Eva advises the same thing.
Forgive your worst enemy. It will heal your soul and it will set you free.
Thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands of people around the world have tried Eva's forgiveness. Many have found it life-changing.
And it's the biggest thing that anyone's ever done.
And many vow to carry the message to new generations.
I will never stop
This is
sharing
her
Eva's
sister
story.
talking.
I will never stop sharing the advice she gave me, and I'll make sure that when she's gone, that her story isn't gone, and that her mission doesn't just die.
Yes, that was her sister at the end there. And then the memorial service. You want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Oh, let me get it set up first.
Okay.
Hold up.
So for the memorial service that they did for Eva, there was the funeral, of course. My sister actually worked the funeral, so I wasn't allowed to go because she would be busy and stuff. But the memorial service was open to a lot of people, though it was almost exclusive because not many people showed up.
Yeah.
But a bunch of people talked, people who knew Eva, people who just experienced her story. And at the end, they did something really special, which is what we're about to show you.
Right. Okay. It doesn't get any bigger, sorry.
Oh, the video's almost over.
Yeah, it's 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is the end of it. Yeah, we're not gonna watch 2 hours. This is the end. Ready? She gonna talk?
Ignorance and fear robbed Eva of her childhood home. As she and her family were forcefully removed from their village, she looked into the eyes of once trusted friends and neighbors, only to see rejection. And yet, she shined. As pure evil greeted them on the selection platform, forever imprinting her mother's cries and outstretched arms into her memory, orphaned and covered in the dust of her people. Still, she shined. As poisons ravaged Eva's body, robbing her of strength and demanding her resignation, she fought back, refusing to be perforated from her sister. And even then, she shined. As life continued on outside of the horrors of Auschwitz, chaos of the heart, mind, and soul battled for stability and connection. After nearly 9 months of torture and starvation, Eva and Miriam experienced gentle touches from caring nuns, dressed partially and vividly. Yet, there were no trauma-informed care therapists to diagnose Eva's adverse childhood experiences, no tailored treatment plan. So Eva did what she knew to do. She fought harder, and she fought louder, and she fought through the darkness, reclaiming her light. And then the miracle, that is Eva Moses Poor, it began to reveal itself. She invited us to join her on her journey of forgiveness. She embraced her brokenness and encouraged us to be vulnerable alongside her. She had little use for pomp and circumstance and ego volume. Eva was in the business of teaching others how to be free, free from the burden of pain, hate, how to heal oneself, how to embrace unique abilities to love and serve, and fully understand the importance of humanitarian leadership. This glow stick has little purpose in its original state. Not until it is broken does its ultimate potential become revealed. The sound of its cracking makes it an audible tribute, acknowledging the horrific devastation Eva endured. But let's not wallow there for long, because Eva would not allow such nonsense. At this time, please locate your glow stick. And now, let's break our glow stick together.
I want my time on this earth to count for something.
Eva, we see you, embrace, and celebrate your light. We will carry your message of forgiveness into tomorrow and beyond. We will not let you down. Rest well, dear Lady in Blue. Challenge accepted.
Wow.
So, I did go to that memorial. It was very good. It was a good service, and there was another one going to happen. It did happen at Clues Hall where the documentary was shown, but I was performing at something else for band. But this is the glow stick that I got there.
And they were blue.
Yeah, they were blue. Yeah, it's now yellow the color, but
Yeah, but when you broke them up, they were blue, weren't they?
yes,
That was really cool.
it was very.
Was it so powerful to be there
Yes,
to
it
see
was
that?
very moving.
It's moving just to watch it, don't you agree?
Yeah.
Just to watch that, I mean, moved me to tears, so.
Yeah, I broke down whenever I heard Eva talking.
Yeah, tell us what she said, cause it's a little hard to
Right,
hear.
yeah, it says, I want my time on this earth to count for something.
That's what she said.
So Eva's a goal in life was that if she could change, or if she could help one person, then she has done everything she needs to do.
I
And well,
think-
she has helped me.
Yeah, I think she's done her job.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Mhm.
Oh, can we thank Bailey for?
Thank
Thank you guys for listening and
Yeah, you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.